So, you know, going back to what we were talking about earlier, was we're talking about how there are women that are out there, and because of the way media has been and social media has been, I do strongly feel that there are some women out there that know if they falsely accuse a man that they will be believed and that person will get destroyed. So have you girls ever had any situations where you were dating somebody or you know someone who's dating somebody and they turn to being like a stalker?
Yeah.
Yep.
Has anyone had that as like a first-hand experience here?
No.
A little bit.
Yep.
Melissa, you have?
Lots of times.
Was it the guy from last night?
he just sent me another text.
Oh my God.
And you might be meeting him later on.
Maybe. He showed me a picture of yogurt and like alcohol. So
Ew.
Yeah, or was it ice cream? I didn't fully look at it.
So let's
Sure
talk
it
about,
was
so you had
yogurt?
someone stalking you?
Going back to the whole dating app thing, there's a reason why I don't have a dating app. Tinder. I had it for quite some time now, or back then in high school, not now. And every time I hooked up with somebody, they turned to be really creepy and stalker-like.
That's
so
fun.
that was
I'm sorry.
lots of fun.
I have to make a comment here. So the biggest predator for women are men. You know that, right? Like men kill more women than anything else. Like than animals or fucking bear attacks, men kill women. But you just said that you're not on dating apps anymore because there's a lot of creepy guys. But then some guy texts you about fucking whatever. No, I don't know if it was Adidas. What was it? And then you go and meet him.
I think it's because she's just
That
trying to
was
get
a
into
different-
acting.
Yeah.
So do you understand
thank
how
you.
fuced up that is
I
for a
know.
guy?
Yeah.
I know.
Do you agree
Like,
here,
yeah.
Ryan? Is that kind of fucked up?
Yeah,
Like a
hold
girl
on.
will say, I'm not going to meet guys on dating apps because I've had bad experiences, but some guy texts me about me having an opportunity.
wait. There's a misunderstanding here. That's funny. I like where you're going with this, but it's wrong. So the Adidas thing was a totally different person. So I was trying to tell you that I would still meet up with them, yes, but
Yeah, I'm lost.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't get it. either.
How is that any different than meeting up with a guy from?
Because I'm trying to be famous. You're right. Like I want to.
Yeah, but being famous shouldn't involve like all these risks.
Well, I shouldn't, but it does.
But if it does, no. But
I mean, I don't know. Like in the
But if it-
beginning,
if
when
it-
I first met you, how do I know who you are? Right?
you met us here at
What
the
if this
studio.
is a cult?
Wait, this is not a cult? I was under the impression that I was joining a cult, but okay.
I mean, you never know what you're going to walk into. You have to go. Like, you have to be a risk taker, but you have to be a smart risk taker.
You just have to
I
have
feel that-
911 on speed dial.
I feel that common sense should always prevail because it doesn't matter what the setting may be. You always have to be cautious,
Yeah.
and
there
whatever
was.
your gut says, and the doubts,
Yeah.
go with it.
But
Because
keep in mind, I called you because
and that one you did, but the one that you
Called
met
the cult
yesterday, you
leader.
didn't contact me, and I would have told you don't meet him.
yeah, and I listened to you, and then I tried to meet up with someone else.
There you go.
Yeah, I actually have a friend that they were in a relationship in high school, and they broke things off once we graduated and everything, and she was stalking him, like fully sitting outside of his house, just a couple houses down from his street.
I think we have the same friend.
She,
So you're just describing like memories
he
for
would
me.
go to the gas station and he'd see the same vehicle with the same license plate.
She followed him.
and
Yeah.
Wow.
and
That's shocking.
it happened, like, it went to the extent of the parents getting involved and a restraining order against her
Oh my
because she
God.
was so
It might be the same
delusional.
friend.
Okay.
And you know what? And that, once again, you don't really hear a lot of stories with women stalking men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around, right? Because guys, I think that guys sometimes can be embarrassed by that because other guys will be like, what's wrong with that, man? Like, why didn't you, take her up for it? If she was so into you, the sex would be great. And she wants you, so there's not really much of a commitment on your part. And that's that, right? So most guys I find are not going to talk about it because they think it shows a sign of weakness, right? I've experienced it. I had a woman, more than one, but this one psycho girl that would show up at my condo And because she knew the doorman downstairs, they let her in
Oh no.
because we dated just a couple of times. And she would show up and sit outside my door till like
Gosh.
3, 4 in the morning.
Wow.
Keeper.
And and at that time, I was with another girl, and she actually attacked her
Oh my gosh.
and called her a whore, and that's my man.
Pitbull.
And what are you doing?
Yeah.
I had to get security
She
to
is
remove
your
her.
security.
Yeah, why would you need security?
And so I contacted the police,
Wow.
and they laughed it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, okay, so what do you want us to do? I said, can you contact? And then, did she assault you? I said, no, but she's like fucking driving me crazy. And I'm worried now. And I'm worried about the girl that I'm dating now as well, too. She's afraid. So, yeah, we can't do anything.
Sounds like a you problem, right?
Pardon me?
They were like, sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, if the tables were turned
Yeah.
and this was a female and the male was sitting outside of her condo door, then they'd be like, yeah, there's like a physical threat. And I feel that that's like, it's not a level playing field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people
Actually-
underestimate what women can do.
They-
Oh, for
shit.
sure.
I
I get
don't.
it's not a level playing field. I do get that, but I mean, I have also seen examples of the opposite, like where the female does it is not taken as seriously as the male. I've seen the
How
op-
often?
okay, obviously there's exceptions to every rule, but I mean, I do see that. Like, for example, like we had a girl that lived 2 blocks from us from like our store or whatever, and she was our regular customer. And consistently, she was telling special victims, she was telling anyone she could get a hold of, and she would tell us at the dispensary, like, I'm trying to get a piece. First, she had to get a peace order, and in order to get a peace order, she had to prove 5 or 6 months of X, Y, and Z. And in order to get, once she got the peace orders, when she could get the restraining order, and
Yeah.
by the time it was all said and done, and she was trying to get it prepared, so when he was released from jail, well, it took so long. She got beheaded in her driveway last
Oh
June.
my,
Oh my God.
He got released from jail, and you can. It's all like, yeah.
This
Holy
happens. I mean,
hell.
Yeah, it
and
does,
again,
but
it's
it's the exception. But
Yeah.
I also do see where sometimes you do have the female, you know, when they're, especially if they're dealing with someone like a female cop who looks at them like, oh, really? You can't, like, you know,
Yeah.
you're such a,
Fair,
like, you
yeah.
know what I mean? But then you have someone like a male cop who's like, okay, I can see the threat in this, right? So I also see it's who's dealing with the case too.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
more often than not, when it comes to a female who is a victim or alleged victim, and they go to the police, they will have a better chance of the police acting on it than if a male was to go. If a female was to threaten a male on text that, you know, my boyfriend's going to kick your head in, like whatever, the guy that I'm seeing now, blah, blah, and the male was to go tell the police, they're not going to do anything. If it's the other way around, where the female received a threatening text, they are going to go and talk to the guy, and there's a very good chance he's going to be in handcuffs. So, and I'm not blaming women for this. I'm blaming men. And the reason for that is that men who are victims, most of them don't do anything about it.
And sometimes it's till like it sucks because it's nothing's gonna really happen until it's absolutely too late. So going back to like my experience, actually I'm gonna change it from the dating app because this is a different one I'm thinking of now. Just recently, not long ago, did this happen when I was bartending. There was this guy who used to continuously come to the bar. He was a regular. Everybody knew who he was. He seems normal. Okay. You have a normal conversation with him. He's a nice guy. He's actually helped me walk old ladies to the door and stuff like that.
Aw.
You got old ladies in your bar?
Yeah.
What kind of bar is that?
No, like it's a nice restaurant bar, right?
Mm.
Anyways, it got to the point where like him and I created a friendship. And I didn't think he was crazy. Nobody thought he was crazy. So he had my Instagram and we would like message each other. There was nothing like flirty going on. Like I didn't find him attractive in that way. But I guess he found me attractive. And so he would always try and invite me out for dinners and I would never respond to it. And then anyways, because so I would literally ignore those invites. And then so he would go to my other workplaces.
Oh no.
And then he would start like popping in and say, hey, just wanted to say hi. It'd start off in little things like that in all of my different workplaces. And he didn't get like his hair done or anything, just come in and say hi. Then one day it got so bad. This is what set him off. I actually thought, okay, you know what? I'm out to dinner with my girlfriends right now. And he's asked me if I want to go to meet him at this place for a drink, which is literally down the road. I did not say yes. I said maybe. Maybe if I get out at a decent time with, I told them what I was doing. I was with my girlfriends. Maybe I'll come meet with you. I missed 35 phone calls on
35.
35. Me and my friends like, who's calling you? Like, anyways, long story short, I didn't answer him. I avoided, like, I just stopped. And then I went to my salon job, like maybe a couple days later. The guy comes waltzing in and slams his hand on the counter and loses his shit on me. Yeah. And he started like calling me all the names in the book, accusing me of things that I don't even do. My eyes get red sometimes because I work like my life away. And he was saying my eyes are red because I do drugs and blah, blah, blah. And
this guy could be suffering for like a mental health thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
For sure.
He's very insecure.
crazy. Like, and so my style, I have a video. I took a video of him while he was yelling at me. And I think I aggravated him more. You can hear me laughing in the video. And my stylist friend comes up, but she's like scared because he's so violent and hitting things. And like,
sorry, you know that some people, I'm just playing devil's advocate, they will say that you kind of let him on.
And you know what? You know
Some
what?
That
people,
mean he can threaten her though?
No. That's what I'm saying is this is the whole issue here. I'm saying that the culture that we live in today, because of the way dating has become and the way that people meet, a lot of guys don't know what the right cues are. So just because you're being polite and replying to him and he said, you know, let's get together for a drink. And he said, maybe, that right there made him think, oh yeah, I've got a chance and whatever. Right. So my advice to people is just be very, very careful who you're talking to. Figure out what their intentions are right from the beginning. And if you don't share the same intentions,
like you, he seems normal, right? Like,
Should we all agree on that?
Because he seemed just like you, and then he switched.
That's an insult, I think. I'm getting insulted here. He sounds just like me. It means he's fucking charming. Is what you're saying, and then you missed out on a great guy.
Did he have a hookah in his hand?
Yeah.
No, he was out of beer in his hand because they served him.
Yeah, I don't drink.
Okay.
Well, again, because he was a customer, I feel that with a lot of girls who are in the serving industry, that happens very often. I was in the nightclub business, and the girls that I used to have work at the club, they used to always tell me, this guy, I'm getting some creepy vibes from him. Yeah. He comes here all the time.
And you actually make a super good point, because the more that I think about it, when you put it into that perspective exactly, and earlier when I was saying like, oh yeah, I've had guys literally ask me to come hang out alone while I'm in front of my husband. As I'm reflecting back on those conversations, now I'm realizing why they're doing that. Because when they're walking out, I'm going, hey, darling, how are you? Come on in.
Yeah.
And then I'm like leaning over the counter. And my husband always says that. He goes like, you got to stop calling our customers pet names. Like especially our regulars. Be like, hey, babe, don't worry. Just like cross the line. Come on over. So like, as you said that in that one perspective, it just like the thought
so
connected.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe if I didn't call this guy darling and like hun every time I was cashing him out, maybe he wouldn't get that vibe, that cue that you're talking about.
So listen, a lot of girls who work like in the club business, they know that their energy and how friendly they are and flirtatious they are, that they're gonna get a really good tip and they'll have a reoccurring customer. And they're told that. They're not told to have like a bitch face when they walk up to somebody. They have to be friendly. They're looking provocative to begin with. They're being really friendly and really sweet. So this guy feels like, oh, wow, she's into me. Every time she comes by, I make a little joke and she giggles or she replies back. Okay. And the next week again and the week after. And then when he asks her, you want to get together for a drink? Like, oh yeah, maybe I might be able to. Now he's like, okay, she's in the bag. So I feel that a lot of people today, because of the way dating has become, they don't know what the right cues are. If you meet someone on an app and you're willing to meet somebody just because their fucking profile pic, like that's the wrong message, I feel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
someone liked you, you like them, now you're a match. And like, okay, hey, what's up? We're a match. You want to hook up? Okay. Where do you want to meet? You don't know much more about them.
I don't meet people. I talk on the phone for like hours.
But not
like
so
hours.
you're not the norm, right? You're not the norm.
I talked to a guy last night for 4 hours on the phone.
So that's the exception.
hours.
So who else has met people off a dating app?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you talk for hours and hours before you met them?
No.
For some of them, yes.
Okay. How about yourself?
Oh, I always have
We
to
would often
I
video
gotta
chat.
talk. I want to know this guy before I'm gonna go meet up with him. I want to know
Yeah.
he's not a creep. I want to know
Well, you're not
he's
going to know.
crazy.
Probably why.
Yeah, true.
So
But-
based on what you just said, Melissa, you said you do the same thing. You've talked to people as well.
I've done it, but like normally it's just text and meet up, and it's probably why I have weird people every time.
So Courtney,
Yeah.
you've said that you've talked to people.
Yeah.
And then you've met up with them.
Rarely, I think, but I'm from a small town, so I know somebody knows somebody. Like we all know each other. I've never met up with someone random off of Tinder.
I
Okay.
have.
Yeah, I would. I
So
just, it's not
your
in me.
Tinder is based on the people within your area.
Sadly.
Okay. So but even then, so even if
There's
you
some
do
good
talk
ones.
to them
Yeah.
and you have met up with them,
Yeah.
you've had some bad experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, it boils down to I feel that communication is key.
It is,
And when you
100%.
communicate with a person, you've got to be on the same wavelength, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a hookup, cool. If you want something more serious, then you should be asking more questions and seeing where it kind of goes, right?